I'm glad that Saban gets to enjoy retirement. I mean, look how many guys have just coached to the bitter end and have absolutely nothing left.
Yeah.
And he has the opportunity to actually take some time to just chill, enjoy life if he wants to step away for a little bit and just enjoy it. I think he's earned that. So I am glad that he's able to do that. Um, in terms of the hire, to me, it felt when I heard the name, I was like, huh? I
Yeah.
mean, granted,
I
his
think
name was
everybody had that same thought.
in the national conversation, just being in the national championship game, but it did feel kind of out of left field. And then I started doing the math, how you just were talking about with Lanning and Lane and all that, and how those guys weren't going anywhere. And so this was kind of like the next best option. Not to say that he's leftovers, but I mean, in terms of your options that are there, that's what you've got. Obviously, as like kind of like you, Matt, as a Georgia fan, I do kind of hope that this means that they won't be on top all the time. But we'll see. Who knows? I know they've already the no Southern ties thing has already been kind of debunked by what's his name over at Saturday Down South, I think. Obviously, before he came to Alabama, Nick Saban, no Southern ties. Les Miles, LSU, no Southern ties. And they did fairly well for themselves down there. I mean, you could even talk about Brian Kelly if we want to go down there to LSU.
Or don't bring Brian Kelly into it with his fake Southern accent. Come on.
So
we don't need to
so
bring
cringy,
but,
cringy, man.
But the thing is that no Southern ties doesn't mean that he's not going to do well in the SEC. So I'm not just going to go out on a limb and say that right now.
Turns out football, Southern tie. We're good with it. That can be the tie.
Yeah, for sure. So I do understand that the brand of football is much different, like you said, Matt, in all these different conferences, Pac-12 and then to SEC. I hate to be cliche, but time's going to tell, right? We're just going to have to wait it out and see what happens. And like y'all were talking about with all these transfers and stuff, some people are just going to have to not panic and wait it out and see what happens.
Hey, Wes, listen, it's going to be good. You want to know where it's going to be? You just said, hey, you had to be cliche here and wait it out. But you know where the wait's going to be?
What's that?
It's going to be Alabama versus Georgia, week 5.
Well, true. Yeah.
Because that's going to be.
It's about time y'all played during the regular season. I applaud.
We just played them in the regular season like 3 years ago.
We played 2020.
God help us.
Like week 3 or 4.
Tennessee has to play them every single year. Both of them.
Auburn.
It's been
Auburn
awful.
probably feels bad too because Auburn plays Georgia.
God.
Every year, no matter what. That's so
awful.
Yeah. And I was thinking too, because I think in previous episodes we had talked about, and I said it a couple of years ago, is we could get Dabo Sweeney to come over, and Lord bless it, I am so glad we didn't, because when I tell you that is not a culture fit, it's not a culture fit.
Well, you want to talk about people saying that the reason Saban may have left was because of NIL and transfer portal, and then you talk about another guy who's badmouthed both of those consistently.
Yeah. People kept mentioning Dabo, and I was like, guys, do you not understand what Nick Saban's saying? And you're saying you want to go after a guy that's on the same, no, we need a guy that wants to adapt to NIL, because that's what it's going to be. Like, we can complain. If anybody could have changed it, it was Nick Saban, and it didn't get changed. So, yeah.
Which, I mean, Saban has adapted how many times over the years?
And, dude.
Whether it be new rules or what have you, new offense.
Man, it just catches up to you. That's what everybody's
saying. He's reached
his
final form.
And hey, at least you can go out and you can say, hey, my last year I lost 2 games into the national championship team, and I beat number 1 team in the nation and won the SEC championship. That's a good go out. That's not a bad go out. That's not a bad season. And Alabama fans, the spoiled ones, are like, we didn't win a natty. I'm like, yeah, but we have so many other things we did great on this season that we could have lost 4 games easy. But we didn't.
As a Bama fan, I might be more, maybe not more proud than other team than some of the, like 2020 was an incredible team.
No, Wes,
I would be very proud of this year's team because of the way they started versus the way that they finished. And that was pretty incredible.
One of his best coach teams, if not his best coach team.
Yeah.
And to go out, I'm still going to say on top, like you said, won an SEC championship, beat a number 1 ranked team, got to a playoff. and
was 4th and goal from a natty. I mean, we were
exactly.
4th and goal from in OT. Like,
Exactly.
I mean,
and so many coaches wait too long to see themselves become a villain
Mhm.
or to break a rule or to do something that damages their legacy. To go out with your legacy still intact is super
Yep.
important.
And he handed it off like a true leader / legend. Leaders and legends don't leave places in a debacle or craziness. Like, he handed this off to DeBoer. Like, hey, now everybody leaves. That's, he can't make decisions for these individual players. But the program is at the highest level you can get it at. Versus when he came in, when it was poverty, when we were just coming, we almost got the death penalty a couple years before that, because everybody was paying players and coaches were paying strippers to go to hotels. Like, it was just
I think we've
wild.
all
So
been there. So yeah.
so what Saban has stepped into, like, versus what DeBoer has stepped into, are two totally different realms of stepping into college football. And it's good that Saban left him in a good spot there. Bunch of 5 and 4 star guys.
Why did I picture, when you said that, I was picturing Jimbo leaving FSU.
Like, that's exactly who I was thinking of too. Yeah, trash. Throw the Christmas tree out by the trash can. Pack up the boxes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a prime example. And listen, Jimbo is getting paid $78 million for Jameis Winston and what's the receiver? Benjamin? Wasn't that the receiver? Kelvin Benjamin?
Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah.
Kelvin Benjamin.
That's the only 2 players you can name from go to A&M and Florida State. That was actually
was
Derwin James. Wait, was Derwin James there when he was? If not, him too.
Yeah,
like, that would be 3. But yeah, other than that, though, there's not a player that Jimbo you can name 10 Nick Saban or Kirby Smart players right now.
Yeah.
I feel like,
And I think shifting gears a little bit, I think maybe select few people knew that Saban was done, maybe a few weeks or a good while in advance. If y'all go back, and you may have already seen this, and watch the exchange between Saban and Kirby at the SEC championship right before the game, and just the way they are talking to each other, it's almost in the past tense. And it's almost like, and Kirby's just like, "You're a hell of a coach." And just like they just knew. Yeah.
It's almost like Kirby knew, man. It's almost like he told Kirby.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if he did. Don't know if he did. That isn't confirmed. But
Nick
I
will
say,
put it in the text string a couple weeks before.
The text with
he probably told Blaine and Kirby and
Nick can't type that many letters.
That's true. He's got the old flip phone. He's hitting each button like 4 times to get the right letter.
He's got that T9 on his jitterbug phone.
Terry Hill.
Yeah.
Not the jitterbug.
Oh, man.
Miss Terry probably texted them.
That's true.
Yeah,
he just hands the phone over. All right, can you do this for me?
Listen,
listen.
Send him a text,